What is up, guys and girls? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having fun, and I hope you're all getting out on the water as much as possible. We are coming back at you from Rhodes, Greece, Reckless Riders Wingfoil Club, and we are here with another foil review. It is very late in the season, so the wind's dropped off, the weather's getting a bit cloudy there, which is why we've changed our position, as you see, new background for the lighting. But we are here with another foil review, as we said, and we are looking at something special today. We are looking at something really hyped up at the time of filming this video anyway, and that is the SpitFires. And I'll tell you what, the hype is not for nothing. It is a really amazing foil, and it just has everything I personally look for in a foil. It will give you it's amazing. Just you got to try it out, right? Before even looking at the video, just turn off the video, go try it out. But no, joking there, stay on the video. So what is the SpitFire? The SpitFire, by definition, from Axis, of course, by definition, it is a surf foil, so it's a wave foil, and it really does perform fantastically in the waves. But not only, like, it's such a nice foil, you could use it in any conditions with ease and really have fun on it. So don't think just because it's surf foil, you can't buy it if you're in a flat spot or anything like that. It is really a nice foil, so listen on the continuation of the video. Now here we have three foils. We got the SpitFire 780, the SpitFire 900, and the SpitFire 1030, and Axis was nice enough to keep some for us so we can buy them right at the beginning, and I've had them for a while now. I've had them throughout the season, and I've been testing them, trying them out, and really kind of getting the hang of them to be able to come to you guys and give you feedback. And I will say one thing before anything else, that the SpitFire is now my new everyday foil. That's what I ride all the time. So as you understand, I am impressed by this foil. Now, we'll give an explanation about all the foils, because they are very similar throughout, from the bigger sizes to the smaller sizes, with very small differences in the general feeling of the foil. So if we look at the SpitFire here, let's talk about the shape of it first. It has that obvious kind of elliptical outline, so that's what makes it stands out from other foils, especially other Axis foils. So it's kind of rounded through the top and through the bottom, and that's where it gets its name from, because it looks like the SpitFire planes. So this shape here that you see, the elliptical shape, is what gives it to really generalize it, all that maneuverability and control in the waves. This is what makes it a wave foil, and it's really fantastic. Other very obvious things about the foil that you have to know, very kind of important things, not obvious things. We said the elliptical shape. We have the median line, so the line from tip to tip, they're going right down the middle. It is a straight line. There's no curve in it. It also down the center, it is thick enough to make it, and this is important for me, I always look at this in foils, it is a thin foil in general, and it's a fast foil because of that, but the middle is thick enough to kind of make it sturdy and durable. So I can really go jumping on these, really hammer them down, and they haven't broken yet, and I haven't even felt that it's come close to anything like that. So I like that. That's one thing that's important for me. That's why I love the BSCs, because you cannot break a BSC. I challenge you to do so. So we said elliptical shape, straight median line, pretty thick in the middle line within the thin range of foils, but very thin in the front and the back. It thins out. It has no aggressive turn down on the tips. So the tips here, from the center to the tips, it does not turn down very aggressively as you would expect from a surf foil, but really this kind of minimalizing of all these shapes in the foils, where like lack of turn down, lack of this, lack of that, the very minimalizing of this foil, it actually what makes it so fantastic and easy to use. But anyway, let's not get caught into that. The cord, so this here, the cord, it tapers off towards the tips here, so from the middle to the end, as you would expect, but it does so very moderately, very smoothly, so it slightly comes, and that's why the elliptical shape here helps, and it slightly comes into the tips here, which are rounded off, and that's also part of what gives this foil so much control. Now, if I were to describe, because I've said that word 1,000 times already, but if I were to describe this foil with one word, it would be control. If I were to describe the feeling of the foil, how it feels for me, I would say confidence. Also enjoyable, but there's a lot of foils that are enjoyable, but this one I would really say confidence. So because of all this control, because of those shapes we just saw now, what it does, it gives you immense amounts of control. You feel it throughout. So this kind of foil gives you the feeling that you can go into things harder than you would, into turns especially harder than you would. You can breach and you do not care. So many times I've brought the foil out of the water and I've had no problem keeping it under control. To be honest, I've had some points, especially with the bigger ones, where I have breached and I haven't even noticed that I've breached, which for me is the first, because I'm not that confident breaching my foil on the turns. Here in Ixia we've got waves, but they're not that big to kind of get used to that. So I would say feels really comfortable breaching, which is nice for a surf foil because you get tight turns on waves and you do not care if it comes out. If you want to know the reason for that, what I believe is that because we said this foil is very flat, very straight, and all those other little things we said together. Now when you have a foil that bends like this, so if your foil is this kind of C shape there, yeah, it gives you that carviness, and a lot of surf foils are made very much like this. But what that does, if you imagine the foil in this shape, it gives power, it gives pressure in directly down from the surface of the foil, which means the pressure is coming inwards. So when one of your peaks comes out of the water, the one side of the sea, so if this comes out, there's no pressure anymore here, that's not in the water, but this one's pushing there and there and there, and that's what gives you that sudden pushback feeling where you feel like you're losing control on the foil when you're breaching. That's why I think these just breach so fantastically, because of that much more flat shape. So where you'd expect, taking away all these C kind of shapes, all these kind of design bits that we've been putting in foils all these years, would kind of reduce, what it does, it actually enhances its control and what you can do with it. Like we said, it is a fast foil, but it also has a very nice low end speed. So if you are using it for wave riding and you're in the wave, you can go on a slow wave, you can go on a fast wave. Here in Ixia, it's not very often, but when it does get really big waves, really big days, the waves are pretty fast. And the problem with a lot of the foils, like the BSCs, which I love, is that they sometimes don't keep up with the wave. You've got to really push that foil to kind of keep up with the wave. Whereas the Spitfire, it just drops in so smoothly and with so much control, and it just speeds up to the drop in and stays with that wave the whole time. But then again, if you're somewhere with bigger, smoother kind of flowing waves, ocean waves, they will not have a problem going at a very low speed as long as you're in that wave. So it really has a really nice low end speed as well, especially for a foil that's already so fast. It is also super nice for pumping and gliding. So it really, not to copy the pump and glide series, but it is really nice for pumping and gliding. So you can really pump far on this foil. It really has a lot of glide to it. I mean, the first time I was using this big boy here in a light wind, I let go of my wing and I thought I'm just going to see how far I glide coming back towards the beach, and I left plenty of space, and even within that space I had to stop myself because I basically nearly reached the beach. I was gliding for God knows how long. Like, it was really long glide, and that was without any pumping involved. If you pump it, you can easily connect waves, and I do that a lot here. So when I'm riding waves on my wing, I'll ride, and if I see that I've finished on one wave and I need to catch the other one over there, because of its speed and its pumping ability, I won't even grab the wing again, which would be easier. I would just pump it into the next wave, because with this foil, even that is super easy. So that's it for the feeling of the foil. So like we said, it really inspires confidence. It's really predictable. A lot of control in it. Also lifting up when you're coming onto the foil, that's also very predictable and easy, so it's not hard to get onto the foil. I would say it's a perfect mix between a BSC and a HPS. So if you've seen the previous videos that we made on those foils, the BSCs, they need a bit more pumping with the legs because they're fatter foils, but the HPS is more speed based. This is speed based. It is a fast foil, so you do need some speed to get up, but you can really give some pumping from your legs and it will help you get up as well. So because of that combination of the two, I find that it gets up pretty early if you know how to put the technique into it. But also while it's getting up, the moment you start flying and getting that first time lift, it's super predictable and super smooth, so you don't feel out of control at any time. So that's it for the feeling. Like we said, super predictable and easy lift, very big amounts of control, which inspire a lot of confidence. It has no problem breaching. It is super nice for pumping and gliding, and it's also a very fast foil, but with a good low end speed. So all around, I would say it's something that it takes over the place of a fantastic all-around foil, and that's what I said on previous videos for the BSC. So these kind of take over as a really good all-around foil, because you can use them in flat water as well. They're not only for waves, even though they are wave foil. Like I said, you can use that pumping, that gliding, and that just cruising ability of the big ones in flat waters and have a lot of fun. And that's not only coming from me, I've given it to customers, higher levels, lower levels, medium levels, and they've all managed to kind of have fun on it once they've got used to the foil. So yeah, it's a really fantastic all-arounder. If I really had to classify it specifically, I would say this is more of an advanced rider all-arounder. I gave it to some people that were not just there yet, and they just could not get used to the foil. They could not ride it properly, because you need the feeling for me is that I need to control the pitch a bit more. So while everything else is just basically set on automatic, you just need to control the pitch, the up and down of the foil a bit more. It can suddenly, as you're going, when you really pick up speed with a wing, it's giving you plenty of lift. If you're going in a straight line and you kind of left, just cruising, minimal power, just going along, you do feel sometimes, especially if it's choppy, messy, that the pitch kind of drops downwards and you've got to bring it back up. Nothing too aggressive, but I do get that feeling sometimes from it, but it's really a very small drawback for all the positives it gives you as a foil. But if you're already riding small foils or HPS foils, this shouldn't be a problem if you can ride the HPS, for example. So it's more of an advanced all-arounder, whereas the BSC models are more of a just general all-arounder that you can go from a very early stage in your wing foiling. Let's look at them a bit separately. So we've got, let's say, the 1030. Let's start on the big boy here. The 1030 has actual surface area of 1,308, and it has, like I said, a very easy, predictable lift. It has plenty of lift coming to it, especially when you try to pick up speed. It really lifts quite a bit, so you don't need too big of a size. This is already quite a big foil, and I can get it out in very light winds. I go out in like 10 knots with it and have plenty of fun gliding around, downwind 360s. Occasionally, if there's a little bump, you can ride little bumps with it. You can't go too aggressive on bigger waves with this because of its wingspan and its size. But it is good for not only light winds, it's good for heavy riders in normal winds. So if you're 100 kilos, 100 something, this will work fantastically. But I think for heavy riders, if you're advanced enough, you can also make your way down to the 900, and that will do the same thing. It still has plenty of lift. The 900 has an actual area of 1,080, but plenty of lift, a lot of glide, a lot of kind of smoothness and easiness into it. But from the 900 downwards, so from this one, I would put this one into that category that I'm going to mention now, but from this one and downwards, and especially coming to the 780 and the 720, they get really explosive. So especially the 840s, the 780, the 720, they can just go aggressive. So you can be super explosive with them. You can make those corners super tight, you can make it very aggressive and have control throughout everything. So smaller sizes, much more explosive and aggressive. Bigger sizes, smoother and kind of flowier and very nice for light winds. But all around, the things we said before, they kind of encompass everything the Spitfires do at any kind of size. They are thin foils, like we said, so they get with black fuselages. Now ideally they would work with advanced fuselages, especially the smaller sizes. I would keep with an advanced fuse. They just work super nicely. It complements the foil fantastically. The bigger sizes you can just use if you're just going out for cruising, playing around. You can go with a normal fuse, and I really enjoy that as well. If you're going out for some wave riding in small waves and bumps, again, advanced would be better, but the normal fuse is fine on the big sizes. If you're looking, by the way, we kind of skipped that, but if we're looking for freestyle, jumping, whatnot, 900 and down I think is good. Like I've said before, I wouldn't really jump with anything over 900 wingspan, 950 maybe maximum. And as you see here, the 1030 has the nice new stickers of not intended for jumping, so do not jump with a big boy like this. But like I said, that kind of thickness on the median line makes them pretty sturdy anyway. And I've been jumping freestyling and just really sending it with my 780, and I've had no problem at all. Doesn't even feel like, you know, it's taking too much pressure or anything like that. So especially 900, 840s, 780s, 720s, fantastic for jumping, good for freestyling. They're really kind of smooth when you're landing a trick into the water and coming and getting back on the foil and back out of into riding. They really feel, again, full of control in moments like that. The rear wings, I would go for, there's two that match. My favorite, the progressive. It cannot go wrong with this. This will give it a bit of extra lift, a bit of extra ease on kind of getting on foil, especially if you're on like limited winds. It gives it a lot more nice control and smoothness on the carving and the and playing in waves. Reduces its speed a little bit, but still, this is my favorite wing, rear wing to put on with this. Now this is a 350. I use the 350 progressive with the big foils, actually, maybe down to the 900. But after that, I feel like the 780, although it works with a 350, I would go for something like a 300, 325. Even actually on the 780 and 720, you probably can even go, depending on your level and your style, under the 300 progressive also. But you can use the 350 all the way up to the bigger sizes. It doesn't need a big rear wing on these foils. The other rear wing is the Skinny, the new Skinnies. They're fantastic also. They match really nicely with these foils. They make them a bit faster, a bit more aggressive feeling, so you kind of start losing some of the control, some of the kind of stability through turns, but they really speed up your foil and loosen it up if that's what you're looking for, and they do work fantastically with these foils. I got the 360, 362, 365 that I got with these foils, and I used them accordingly to 360, 362, 365. You could switch around, you could go bigger, you could go smaller. They work very nicely, but they also, like I said, this one the progressive gives a bit more easiness on the lift if that's your main problem on the getting up onto foil, and the Skinny feels like it needs a bit more work, a bit more speed to kind of get you flying. The smaller sizes in general of the Spitfires, I would say, work better with decent wind, so you want to have some nice power there. They're not the ultimate like light wind, like I said with my BSCs, the small ones, I can get them up in very light winds. I would think I need a bit more for this, or to work more, which ideally I don't want to do. But the big sizes, they'll go in light winds, no problem. They have plenty of lift. So that's it for the Spitfires. I hope that helps. Any questions you have about the Spitfires, please write them in the comments. Any questions you want to ask, I'll try and answer them best I can. Anything you want to know about other sizes, this sizes, or what they kind of feel like or what they match with, don't hesitate to just drop a comment underneath, and I will try to answer at the best of my abilities. If you did enjoy the video, please like, share it with any friends you think might want to see this or might be interested in the Spitfires, and of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. That was it for the Spitfires, and I will see you on the water.